before we start. It's okay. It's live right now, but we're just waiting for some people to come anyway, and then we'll explain what's going on with the debate and everything. So, I guess while we're waiting for people to join, I will just say welcome to the Is Steven Seagal the greatest martial artist of all times debate? Dun dun dun. We're just waiting for the other debater to show up here, guys. Here is the other debater. Welcome, fat ass dogs.
How's it going?
Not bad. So, like I said, we're live right now. I'm just hopefully waiting for a few more people to join, and then we can go over the rules of the debate, the structure, and everything with everyone. Sorry, and we'll get it started, man. So, yeah, fat ass dogs on the left is debating on the affirmative for Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal's the greatest.
That's what he thinks. Taking the opposite is Wrangler. Or Dr. Phil. He doesn't think Steven Seagal is the greatest of all time.
I think he's a shitheel. He thinks he's more spiritual than he is.
Ooh.
This shall be good, guys. So, welcome. Thanks for coming. Let's go over the format of the debate for tonight. So, it's your standard debate format. We'll have opening statements of 5 minutes each. Those are just not opening statements, just introductions. 5 minutes each so they can introduce themselves. After that, guys, we will have 10-minute opening arguments for each of the contenders. That is followed up by a round of first rebuttals for 5 minutes, and then a round of second rebuttals for 5 minutes each. Sometimes we do 3 rebuttal rounds, but we'll see how it goes. After that, we're going to jump into a cross-examination, 10 minutes each. And then maybe an open discussion, and then Q&A from the audience, if there is any Q&A. So, yeah, that's the format. The rules are simple. Just don't interrupt each other, and you guys really don't do that. You guys are pretty good that way. I don't think we'll have any problems. And, yeah, I guess that's all I got to say. So, I guess who should go first here?
I'll go first.
Dogs will go first because he's taking the affirmative. So I will start your time when you start talking, bro. You have 5 minutes just to do an introduction, all right?
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Fat Ass Dogs, and I'm here to talk about Steven Seagal and why he's the greatest martial artist of all time. I'm sick of all these retard, quote-unquote, experts dissing my boy when they don't have half the achievements that the greatest martial artist of all time, Steven Seagal, has. He's an Aikido black belt, the Wing Chun master, and he's former UFC champion Anderson Silva's favorite coach. And he has multiple achievements that any of these soy boy experts would ever have in a lifetime. And the fact is, Steven Seagal destroys them all. He destroys them all. The same people who make these false claims about Steven Seagal are the same people who are afraid to fight him. And not only that, but Steven Seagal has trained multiple UFC and mixed martial artists throughout the years, and multiple fighters that great strikers have watched Steven Seagal. For example, Chuck Liddell would know nothing about fighting if he didn't watch Steven Seagal movies. Oscar De La Hoya would know nothing about fighting if he didn't watch Steven Seagal movies. Alex Pereira would know nothing about fighting if he didn't watch Steven Seagal movies. Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, Leo Machete, and all these great strikers in boxing and mixed martial arts all would know nothing about fighting without watching Steven Seagal movies. The KGB, Special Russian Forces, in fact modeled their training after Steven Seagal's swagger and style. Vladimir Putin, the current president of Russia and former KGB officer, was trained by Steven Seagal himself. And if you're telling me that's not the greatest martial artist of all time, like who was Bruce Lee taught? Huh? Who was Chuck Norris taught? And who was George St. Pierre taught? And which government agencies modeled their training after these people? So you're telling me just because you don't like Steven Seagal, because he's cocky, arrogant, or whatever, makes him not the best of all time? That's just being a fucking complete beta male. Not liking someone mean they can't fight? Like, you not liking Steven Seagal doesn't mean he's the best of all time. And it doesn't mean he wouldn't whoop your ass. And I'd like to end my opening argument right here.
Okay, that was your introduction, but we'll we'll stop it right now. And Wrangler, you ready, bud?
Absolutely.
Okay, brother. Go ahead for your introduction. You don't need to use the whole 5 minutes, but just go ahead.
So, in order to be the greatest of all time, you have to hit every mark. You can't be, oh, he's an excellent fighter, but he runs his mouth and makes everyone around him look bad. Oh, he's got a bunch of wins, but kind of fights dirty, or, there are other things going on to where everyone around is kind of second guessing.
Hey, Wrangler, this was supposed to be your guys' introductions, right? Like introducing who you are. That's why I was like, oh, that's a nice introduction, dogs.
Was mine bad?
No, it was good. It was really good for an opening argument. I just thought you guys wanted to introduce yourselves first, but that's okay. So we can go straight into the opening arguments if you like. Okay, you want to do that?
Yeah,
I paused your time.
I think I just went into it. So
yeah, you did exactly.
Might as well let Wrangler go.
Okay, all right. Well, just go right in. This is Wrangler, by the way, guys. That's his name. He goes by Dr. Phil. That's him. Nice to meet him. Okay, there's your introduction. All right, buddy. We'll go into your opening argument. Okay, I'll restart your time. Go ahead.
All right.
You have 10 minutes. Go.
All right. So, I'm Wrangler. I've studied a little bit of fighting. I've watched a lot of movies, and there's an intersection between those two things. So, but the real question is, what makes the greatest martial artist of all time? So, and as I was saying before, there are a number of things that one has to check off in order to be the best. So let's go over this. Are they power, skill, respect, kindness, a willingness to fight for others? The number of people who now currently fight like them or descend through their theoretical genius. Or, depending on how you look at it, it's the number of people they've killed. So Steven Seagal hasn't really killed anybody. So let's put that, to the side. So Dogs was talking about the number of people that maybe fight like him. And okay. So there's a lot of that I can't necessarily say, oh, that's not true. But there are a number of pushbacks and that people will give. Anderson Silva, for example, there's a video of his team where they're mocking the video of him training. And they're kind of doing the thing where it's like, oh, one touch, moving to the side, one touch, which looks really silly. And when it's the rest of his team doing that, you kind of maybe start to feel bad for him a little bit. There was even a point where he was pushed when they were interviewing Anderson Silva himself. And his English is okay, but it's not fantastic.
We can bring up videos too, by the way. Sorry to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect. I got one.
Just to let you guys know that you can link in videos if you like.
That's the video of the Anderson Silva video of them training and then his team making fun of him.
Do you have the video you want to share in a private link, or are you trying to get me to find it?
No, I just sent it to the group with the three of us.
Oh, on Discord, you can't just drop it in the private chat?
Oh, well, I have... so my phone, if I move away from the...
I can screen share.
Okay. I'll open up Discord. Hold on. Just keep talking. I'll get the link.
Okay, and so here's the quote from Anderson Silva. when they were asking him directly about, did he teach you to do that kick? And he said, I trained the front kick for a long time. I start training martial arts for a long time ago. Steven Seagal showed me the movement, the little movement, but no teach me this kick. I'm working hard for this kick for a long time. Joe Rogan at one point would even comment to say that Anderson Silva was just humoring him. Do we have the video loaded?
Yeah, coming up. Me trained for a long time to do front kick.
Yeah, his English is good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good.
Okay, here's the video.
Okay, and here's the first video where he's showing him a little bit. And keep your eye on Mr. Seagal's bubble gut. All right.
I don't want to get copywritten for music. I'm not even mad. Okay, so there's a video from Wrangler showing you some training that they were making fun of, I guess.
Absolutely.
Okay, buddy, you still going. You still got over 5 minutes of your 10-minute argument here.
All right. So the people that train with him kind of make fun of him. But that's just for like the physical stuff. Like he gets made fun of more than anyone else. Like when people talk about Bruce Lee, they talk about, oh man, he did push-ups with his thumb. He'd do push-ups between his thumb and his front finger. He'd do 1,500 of them. Or they would talk about how that the punching bag that he would use would be over 300 pounds, and he'd just pull through it, just absolutely annihilate that. And it was just like Bruce Lee is just a tiny man. So he's respected. He has an amazing physique. And when it comes to like spiritual things, you can quote Bruce Lee, and he'll talk about being like water. When things are cold, water will freeze. When things get hot, it becomes steam. You do whatever is necessary. Or he would talk about how you take in everything and you discard what is useless and keep only what is useful. To where you're like, oh man, this is like a spiritual person. I could maybe respect him. Now, on the other side of the things, we could talk about Steven Seagal and the Dalai Lama. Now, he paid to become a Western tulku, which is a recognized reincarnation of a previous master that's now been reborn into the West in a non-Tibetan ethnic heritage. Just some wild crap.
Well, I never knew that.
Yeah, and my understanding is he paid for this. So, and as the Tulku and a Theraton, he became Charangdarong Daroji. And this person rediscovered secret teachings and objects hidden by Padma Shiva in the 8th century.
Can you spell that?
Yeah, yeah. And it's like he be finding seas out the black, scrolls out the Black Sea. There are just so many things that sits on top of that, and you're like, okay, whatever. And so after you find out about this story, there's a story that goes along with it where he's talking about how he was on the phone with his ex-wife. And he says that, he essentially tells her, while screaming at her, that he's a god now and he will break her neck if the kids are not there now. Just an absolute wild shift in character for someone who's supposed to be this highly developed spiritual person who's come back through reincarnation, but is just a slubby piece of shit. How's my time, Nick?
You got a minute and 45 seconds.
Okay. So I haven't even gotten to the Mean Gene incident. There was a time where Steven Seagal was hanging out with Mean Gene, and he said, "No one can choke me out. No one can stop me." And Gene, Judo Gene's like, "Yeah, all right, well, let's see." So he gets him in the hold, and then Steven Seagal tries to make a play to grab Mean Gene's balls in order to make him drop the hold, right? But Gene just holds on closer until he passes out and shits himself. And Gene, kind of nicens it up, saying, "Oh, well, maybe after you've had a nice meal and drank a little bit and someone did that to you, you might shit yourself too." There's something funny that goes along with it, where Ronda Rousey said that if she was in the same situation, she'd make him shit himself too.
Yikes. 30 seconds, my friend.
You know what? You know what, dogs? You can have that last 30 seconds. I don't think I need to go into like the sexual misconduct or any of the rape allegations yet.
Okay, thank you for your opening argument there, dogs. Now is your first 5 minute first rebuttal.
All right. Well, okay. What Wrangler said about the rape and sexual assault allegations never happened. Fake news. Okay, never proven. And secondly, he said that Steven Seagal was not respected amongst his peers. That is complete bullshit. Anderson Silva credited Steven Seagal for his win against Vitor Belfort to win the UFC middleweight championship. And Steven Seagal also credit Alex Pereira, the current UFC light heavyweight champion, also credited his win against Jamal Hill at UFC 300 to Steven Seagal. So what Wrangler is saying is a complete lie, right? Steven Seagal is fucking respected amongst the fight community. Everybody knows he's the greatest of all time. It's just beta male talk, okay? That's just the fact. And he claimed that the thing about about Steven Seagal threatening to break his wife's neck, that's a total lie too, okay? And even if he did, it just shows how intense the guy is, okay? Like the dude fucking trains all the time, so it proves that he's even a better trainer than we put on to know. And Wrangler just proved that in his argument. And Nick, I would like to share a video if that's all right with you.
Yeah, of course.
Of a real MMA expert, my buddy, my homie, MMA Eagle, and he is gonna show you guys. He's gonna disprove everything that Wrangler just said right here, right now.
Good evening, good night. Gnome Truthing USA family, as Gnome just explained. I would consider myself an MMA expert, analyst. I've been watching this sport for 2 whole years. Genuinely, if you've been watching this sport for 3 months, you can get a 78% pick rate. Hey, listen, it's the easiest sport in the world, and I'm the best at it. So I actually wanted to talk about Steven Seagal a little bit, right? I'm glad Gnome called me. Listen, I'll come in any time to talk about one of the greatest martial artists of all time, Steven Seagal. Some of you might be saying, "Oh, this is a joke," whatever, it's a joke video. I'm not joking, okay? If you listen to these MMA fighters, right? Alex Pereira and Anderson Silva, I'd say 2 of the greatest strikers, right? 2 of the greatest strikers in mixed martial arts history, coincidentally, have both done a lot of training with Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal is around the block. If you're a savvy veteran MMA fan, you know that Anderson Silva actually praised Steven Seagal for teaching him the front kick to knock out Vitor Belfort. That was just one, right? And if you didn't know, Alex Pereira as well has been seen training with Steven Seagal. And he credits his success to his latest win against Jamal Hill to Steven Seagal, where he got his black belt. Also, if you didn't know, there's another martial artist, which a lot of people don't even know, named Vladimir Putin, right? The leader of Russia. Vladimir Putin is like a black belt in judo. He's a black belt. He's a legit martial artist. You can hear Joe Rogan talking about it. And coincidence, yet again, Steven Seagal is close friends enough with Vladimir Putin that he lives in Russia and is not allowed to travel outside of Russia during the Russia and Ukraine war because he's so associated with one of the other greatest martial artists of all time, Vladimir Putin. So, just a lot of coincidences, right? He's very buddy-buddy and trains with all these fantastic martial artists that could beat your ass. And hey, listen. Little technique breakdown, right? In one of his movies, right? Noam will show the clip right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess that was it. But anyway, yeah, point proven. Wrangler, you're lying about Steven Seagal. The fact is, he is the greatest of all time. He has many more achievements than any greatest martial artist ever. He has more greater accomplishments than Bruce Lee. And let's be honest, he would beat Bruce Lee's ass. And this whole fucking story of this guy choking Steven Seagal out, it never even happened, okay? That's another complete lie that Wrangler likes to, run with to try to discredit Steven Seagal, the greatest martial artist of all time.
10 seconds.
It just never happened, people. Fake news. And yeah, I'd like to end it there.
Perfect. All right, that's time. And Wrangler, it's time for your first 5-minute rebuttal. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Wrangler.
Oh, okay. Forgot my mic was off.
Well, start your time when you start talking.
So, one of the common stories that people hear is Steven Seagal will walk up to women and say, "Hey, I'm a shiatsu master. You need to take off your clothes for me so I can rub you." Now, this isn't a good look if you do it once. It's a bad look if it happens more than once, or people kind of like get a sense that that's your thing, because it's slimy. So, people who have accused him of sexual conduct or harassment are Renee Marlowe, Juliana Margulies, Nicole Sillinger, Christina Reeves, and Porta de Rossi. The people who've accused him of sexual assault / rape are Jenny McCarthy, Caden Nguyen, Fagola Didis, Regina Simmons, and Rachel Grant. And I have an article that kind of outlines it a little bit better. I'll read a little bit from. Regina Simmons, an extra who appeared in Steven Seagal's 1994 film On Deadly Grounds, has accused the actor of rape. This comes after other women have come forward with allegations of Seagal's sexual misconduct. In an interview with The Wrap, Simone said that she was raped by the actor at a wrap party for a movie, which she said took place at his Beverly Hills home in 1993. Simone said when she arrived at his house, he was the only one there, and there were no signs of celebration. He took me into his room and then just closed the door and started kissing me. She said he then took my clothes off, and before I knew it, he was on top of me, raping me. I wasn't sexually active yet. People always talk about fight or flight, but no one talks about the freeze. Simone was completely caught off guard, and mentioned that Seagal was 3 times her size. Probably 6 times that now. I was crying when he was on top of me. She said, even now, my 43-year-old mind doesn't know how to process this and understanding what a loving relationship is and what consensual sex is. And there was none of that. A 43-year-old mother described her alleged first encounter with a goal. She said it was during her open casting call for the film, and says that he invited her and her brother into his trailer. She said that she mentioned that she had a headache and claimed that Seagal offered to give her a massage and rub her hands and neck before going to set. Simone said she was contemplated coming forward but decided against it. In November, Dutch model Fabiola Datus shared an Instagram post claiming that Seagal sexually assaulted her during audition in 2002. Steven asked if I would take my clothes off and walk for him in my bikini, she wrote. After doing so, he was on the couch and I was at the far enough distance to do a catwalk for him. He approached me and said he wanted to act out a romantic scene. I was hesitant and expressed this. Then he started fondling my breast and grabbing my crotch. She continued, I yelled quickly, the audition is over, and tried to run out of the room, but was blocked by a security. I started making a noticeable amount of noise, and his security realized I'd alert someone and let me leave. The model was then inspired to come forward with her story after Portia de Rossi detailed an alleged encounter with Steven during an audition in which she said he unzipped his leather pants in front of her. Datus told the Wrap that both she and Simone filed reports about Seagal with the Los Angeles Police Department. The LAPD spokeswoman, who also said that the department is investigating a separate case at the time. So that's not good. If I were to give an
45
example,
seconds.
35 seconds?
Yeah, 45.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. And he's gone on to deny most of these cases, and he's gone on InfoWars, but a lot of them were settled out of court. So we're never going to know exactly what the outcome is. But when you're settling out of court, shit's bad. Go.
Okie dokie. Thank you, bro. Okay, dogs, whenever you start talking, you can do your second 5-minute rebuttal.
Okay, what Wrangler said was complete bullshit, okay? Those women obviously consented to Steven Seagal, okay? Steven Seagal's a famous actor. He doesn't need to fucking, try hard to get fucking women. So, and by the way, that first woman that Wrangler talked about, her statement, she could have said stop at any moment, but she didn't. So obviously she wanted it, okay? So obviously it wasn't rape. So yeah, I mean it's consensual. So you know what I mean? And the fact of the matter is, this whole thing about he's painting this fake news narrative about Steven Seagal, trying to make him look like a bad guy, okay? That has nothing to do with him not being the greatest martial artist of all time. Okay? It has nothing to do with it because one it has nothing to do with him being the greatest martial artist of all time because it has nothing to do with Steven Seagal's achievements. It has nothing to do with training. And dude, like I said, just because you don't like Steven Seagal doesn't mean he's not the greatest of all time, all right? He would fucking whoop your ass, Wrangler. He would whoop anyone's ass, okay? And so I think these women are pathological liars. I mean, they're the same liars that, a lot of celebrities have, okay? At least 50% of celebrities are innocent, in my view, okay? Like Bill Cosby, totally innocent. OJ, innocent. I mean, Donald Trump, innocent. Mike Tyson, innocent. I mean, women have falsely accused multiple famous celebrities. It's not a surprise that it happened to Steven Seagal, okay? And even if it did, and even if they did accuse him of this bullshit, which they obviously did, and settled it out of court, why the fuck haven't they made it public, huh? Obviously, they had to sign something. I mean, hey, why would they settle out of court if they could go take it to the next level and get more money out of him? Makes no sense to me. And the fact is, I just think these women are liars, and not all people tell the truth when it comes to rape. Okay, like there are multiple celebrities who have been falsely accused and falsely imprisoned. Like Bill Cosby, for example. Those motherfuckers had to violate his civil rights in order to fucking convict him. And just because they did that, they fucking they had his case overturned, okay? Yeah, his guilty plea was overturned. So yeah, and that's why Bill Cosby is innocent, people. And this is the same shit that's going on with Steven Seagal, okay? This whole idea that he's a rapist, he's not a good person, has absolutely nothing to do with him being the greatest martial artist of all time. because he is, and everybody knows it. And the fact is, Wrangler couldn't even name another fighter that is greater than Steven Seagal. He came out with Bruce Lee. How many UFC fighters have Bruce Lee trained, Wrangler? And I will ask you that in the cross examination. However, Bruce Lee has trained none. Zero. None. And besides, UFC wasn't around at the time, but still, at the same time, even if Bruce Lee was still alive when UFC was around, I guarantee you he wouldn't have trained as many fighters as Steven Seagal did, okay? And that's just the fact of the matter. And I'd like to end my my second rebuttal there.
All right, thanks, bro. Wrangler, your last rebuttal, 5 minutes, starts when you're ready, brother.
All right. So Steven Seagal is a land whale with a bad attitude who thinks he's more enlightened than he is and thinks he's more important than he is. Now, if we want to have a proper conversation about who is the best or who has the most defendants under them, there's a thing you'd mentioned earlier, Wing Chun. Now, that is a Chinese fighting style that pretty much all of these people at some point have either learned from or incorporated into what is the mainstays of fighting. Now, all of that comes from a woman, or at least that's the story. There's a lady named Nig Moy, and the story comes from Master Ip Man, who is the master of Wing Chun right now. He's the one that they made all of the movies about, the ones that they have got Mike Tyson fighting him, pretending he's way more flexible than he is currently. Now, during the Krangxi Emperor, roughly 1662 to the early 1700s, there's this group called the Manchu, which most of the Chinese are ethnically come from now. And they were having a period where they had gotten the Shaolin to go out and attack a number of people for them to where they had ultimate power, essentially, as the emperor. And the emperor had gotten in his head that, oh man, you probably don't want the Shaolin temple to be there anymore because those are the people that you went and had go and conquer everybody else for you. So the Manchu descended on the Shaolin temple, and there were a few people that had survived and gone out. And Nig Moy was one of those people who essentially got on a boat and got. Now, what she is credited with is the 5 different animal styles descend from her, or at least a lot of like the basics and principles. Like there's a story about how the crane style, she was watching a crane and a rat fight. I was like, oh man, look at those sweeping motions with that arm. That's crazy. I need to be like that. And that's how I'm explaining it is kind of an abomination. But anyway, after she got out, the story was that she ended up training a number of people. And when she got off the boat, she made friends with this girl who was going to be forced into marriage. The deal that she made was that, the girl with the trying to force the marriage thing was, if I can beat you up, I'm not marrying you. And sure as shit, trains the girl, and then eventually they build a fighting style off of that, or at least that's like one of the branches. There are a few other monks that escaped, but Nig Moy is the person that everybody else is copying. That everybody's saying, oh, I have to be like this person. I'm, doing basic Chinese martial arts. Now, they don't necessarily know that story because they wouldn't necessarily get that on the bottom end of things, but eventually they will. So, are we saying it's the land whale that sexually assaults women? Or are we going to say it's the woman that's kind of like Kill Bill? Like, I would prefer, picking the Kill Bill persons. Just honestly.
30 seconds, Wrangler.
Now, I can't talk to the Cosby shit. I can't talk to the all women lying stuff. There's not enough time for me to even begin to touch on that. So I think I'm just going to have to pass.
Okie dokie. Thanks, brother. All right, guys. This brings us into the cross-examination of the debate. So, Dogs, you'll have 10 minutes to cross-examine Wrangler. You'll ask him questions, and Wrangler, you have to answer the questions that he asks, and then we'll flip the script, and Wrangler can have 10 minutes to ask Noah questions. All right.
All right, I got four questions. Wrangler, since you won't cover why it's not a lie and you can't prove for a fact that Steven Seagal did these so-called things that you claim he did, then why can't you just disprove what I just said? Sounds like it's made up.
Can you prove that he didn't, Dogs?
I could prove he didn't. Why they settled out of court?
No, I'm asking why did he settle out of court?
Why did he settle out of court? He didn't. He probably because he's like, hey, yo, you women don't have a case. Look, I'll give you $100,000. Just leave me the fuck alone. That's pretty much how it usually works with rich people.
Why would you give anyone saying that you raped them money? That would convince other women to do the same.
Wrangler, you'll have time to ask him questions on your cross examination.
But anyway, Wrangler, my second question to you is, would you fight Steven Seagal? Yes or no?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I'd have a solid shot.
I don't believe you. I think you're lying. I think you would lose.
He's a decrepit Count Porcula kind of man.
I think he would take you down instantly, just like that, and beat your fucking ass.
I think that either diabetes or COPD or gout would take him out first.
He would do the same kick that he taught Anderson Silva against you, dude. But anyway, my other question to you is, how come no other fighter has trained as many UFC fighters as Steven Seagal? Like, Bruce, how many UFC fighters have Chuck Norris trained? Like, come on, man.
Well, I mean, you answered the question, at least for Bruce Lee. He was before that.
Chuck Norris? No UFC fighters? None.
I wasn't talking about Chuck Norris, though.
I know, but people you used him as an example earlier. But anyway, yeah, like I said, how come no other great fighters has trained as many UFC fighters as Steven Seagal, man?
Well, I mean, no, trained is kind of it's a little rough. We heard what Anderson Silva had to say when he was pressed about, did Steven Seagal actually teach me? Oh, I already know kick. He showed me little movement, but I've been training whole life for kick.
Yeah, and that little movement won him the UFC title.
Like you're disregarding him saying he already knew the move, dog.
Yeah, then why would he credit him for the win then?
Because he was being nice and humoring him. Joe Rogan said essentially the same thing. He didn't actually believe that he had trained him or made him that much better in any technical sense.
Well,
but
Joe Rogan's a liar. He fucking lies about the polar bear community all the time, Wrangler. You know this.
Are we talking about actual polar bears or interracial couple? What are we talking about?
No, we're talking about polar bears. But anyway, you brought up Wing Chun earlier, and Steven Seagal is the master of the Wing Chun right now. So how can you use that against him, Wrangler?
He's not a master in the Wing Chun. He studied for 3 years.
No.
Yes, dogs. I'll go find it for you, but in my notes, I put down he only studied for 3 years. Well, he has a 7th Dan in Aikido, which is a black belt, and he trained in Wing Chun for 3 years. So he has some experience, but he's not a Wing Chun fighter.
Well, dude, it proves how good he is, though. It proves how good he is. I mean, if he can master it in 3 years, I mean, who else could master that in 3 years?
Who said
Not
anything
Chuck
about
Norris.
who said anything about mastering? Like, it didn't even say anything about him getting a belt or any actual title
Oh,
associated.
100% he mastered it. I know he did.
Dogs, no one masters any fighting art in just 3 years. You can get good at it, but you
Well,
never
Steven
master
Seagal did.
anything. That's part of the whole idea. Is every day
Steven
you're
Seagal did.
supposed to learn and get better.
Yeah, but Steven Seagal did. But anyway, that's all I got.
Not, dogs.
That's all I got.
Absolutely not.
That's all I got for questions. If Wrangler's got any questions for me, let's
All
go.
right, I'll stop and we'll go to Wrangler's time. All right, Wrangler, it's your time to cross-examine dogs. Ready?
Oh yeah.
Okay, go, bro.
Why not anyone in the Gracie family?
Steven Seagal destroys them in accolades. That's why.
He didn't even create his own fighting style. He only waddles around like a leopard seal.
I guarantee you, if him and Royce Gracie got into an octagon, he would destroy Royce Gracie.
I don't believe that, dogs. I think he would pull him apart like a Barbie doll, just like just at the seams until he's nothing but like wig.
I was gonna say, like, is that a wig that he's wearing?
All right, I got a DMX quote from when he was working with him, and the way that it was set up was that Steven was talking very nicely about DMX, but he wasn't happy at all because of the way that the relationship was.
X gonna give it to you.
No trivia.
X is dope.
Yeah, and so like the quote's a little bit blue, right?
What's the quote?
Hold on, let me.
He definitely dyes his beard and his hair. He's 70 years old. There's no way to be that black.
Okay, you're gonna have to give me the pass on this one because I'm quoting fucking DMX, right?
Yeah, X is my man, my homie. No problem.
Steven Seagal's a fuck. He's a fucking shithead with spray-on hair. He talks like an old slave master. Hey, what's up? We're gonna have a barbecue. I was just like, man, the fuck do you think you're talking to? My name ain't Sambo, nigga, and get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
That's hilarious.
Never happened. He would kick his ass, bro, if he talked to him like that.
Yeah, totally.
Steven Seagal would knock him out if he said something like that.
Yeah, X was obviously scared of Steven Seagal.
Obviously, yeah. That's what makes him the greatest of all time. I mean, people fear him, dude.
Yeah.
And Wrangler just doesn't understand that.
Okay. So a thing that like proper martial artists do is they face their opponent, right?
Aren't you going to ask me any questions?
Yeah, do you got any more questions? We can go to an open discussion after. You still got a few minutes to ask him questions. He's got to answer them, right? So if you got
yeah, wait on questions, dude.
I thought I thought we were on questions.
Yeah, but
you were asking him.
Yeah, but you're supposed to ask me questions, bro.
Yeah. Do you think that the greatest martial artist of all time should, face his foes, like no sneak attacks?
Okay.
Yeah, and he can. And Steven Seagal has done that multiple times.
Oh, okay. I have a couple of incidents where he in fact did not.
I have an instance where he did.
Well, all right. I'll give you the couple of instances, and then you can throw it back at me.
All right.
All right. So on 2 different occasions, Van Damme has essentially offered the challenge and then showed up to where he was. The first time was when they were at Sylvester Stallone's party, and he was talking shit, and he tracked him down. And then, Steven Seagal disappeared. Later on the night, Van Damme followed him to this club and waited outside for 2 hours just to punk him out. This isn't counting towards the 2, but it is technically part of it. George Foreman also made the same challenge, and guess who backed down?
Who?
Seagal. He did not want any of that George Foreman smoke at all.
Okay. Well, anyway, I have a video to back up my proof, Nick. I'm gonna share my screen if you don't
Okay,
mind.
hold on. He's got a few more
I know.
minutes to
Go
question
ahead.
you.
Oh, okay. All right. And then I was going to bring up the John Leguizamo incident. And I have a video to go with this where you can listen to him talk about it. But it was when they were doing executive decision and they were all like rehearsing. And Steven was doing the low voice. He's like, I am the law. You do what I say. And John Leguizamo laughed. And so Steven Seagal snuck up on him and then elbowed him directly into a wall. Where John was like, "Oh, why?" But he secretly asked why.
Well, that bitch just saw it coming.
Yeah, what's your question to dogs though?
Yeah, that bitch just saw it coming, Wrangler.
Should he have done that, or should he have just talked?
Yeah,
to
he
John
should have done
Leguizamo?
that. 100%. He deserved it, dude. Steven
So-
Seagal was 100% in the right for doing it.
So when you question or laugh at someone, pretend to be something they're not.
You don't question or laugh at the greatest martial artist of all time.
You laugh in his
He
face.
questions and laughs at you.
Any more
Yeah,
questions? Or do you
exactly.
guys-
Exactly.
I think we're good. We could probably move to open discussion.
Okay, we'll go to open discussion then, guys. Right on. I'll play this video here that I'll share the screen you've been wanting me to share, dogs. Here you go.
Alrighty, let's play this real quick.
Oh, I know this video. He's so funny.
This is video of him showing you how to fight off multiple opponents at once.
All right.
Watch as they literally fly.
The goatee and the handlebar mustache are what they probably fear most.
See, you couldn't do that, Wrangler.
To be fair, though, that's like the same guy that follows him around everywhere and flips around for him.
Uh-huh.
No.
That's his flipping boy.
Oh, new guy, see?
Worse than being a whipping boy.
See?
Look at them rolling
Both of
around.
them are
though,
coming
like
at him at once. See? Fighting them off.
Oh, man. I
Name
don't
one
know,
UFC fighter who could do that.
Well,
All of them.
it's
See
not.
that?
It looks so fake, bro. Like,
No, it's not fake. It's real.
You think this is real?
Yeah, it's fucking real. Holy shit. Like, it's the greatest shit of all time. Greatest thing of all time. See, Meg? See, even, look, the people are cheering him. Why would they?
What are the other guys trying to do to him?
Nothing. They're not trying to do nothing. They're just supposed to
See? You even throw that motherfucker across the fucking padded ring? Come on, bro.
Steven Seagal.
Hell yeah, bro.
And I get to point
You
out the
told
man
me,
bun.
yeah, Wrangler, you said earlier that Steven Seagal doesn't confront his foes, and I just showed you a video of him doing exactly
I
that.
can't
Fighting
tell if Dogs is trolling or
multiple
not.
people off at once.
Uh,
No excuse, Wrangler.
Dogs, I can't tell if you're trolling or like if this is. if
No,
you're-
why would I
you know?
troll? What's the troll here?
I don't know. Those guys were literally like jumping in the air and like.
Those guys
flipping.
were getting their asses beat, bro. Steven Seagal would do that to you, Nick.
Yeah, but that guy follows him around like everywhere he goes and like does that. You can watch like multiple different.
And
videos.
I'm sure Steven Seagal can do that to any other person.
Well, he's 70 years old. I think he'd have a little hard time flipping. anybody.
No, he's still in good shape. Hell, he
Oh,
lived
really?
longer than Bruce Lee.
Yeah, that's true.
Facts.
Well, I mean, Bruce Lee had a back injury, and then it became degenerative, which is when he spent all of that time writing everything down.
Yeah, they don't know what happened to him. He had like a brain aneurysm or something.
But Wrangler, point taken. Steven Seagal is the greatest of all time, and you can't disprove that, man.
No, he's not. He's
He is.
honestly kind of a nobody.
No. How many movies have you made? You said you
Are
would
we-
fight.
are
How
we
many movies have
including-
you made?
Are we including pornos?
Many, many.
Yeah.
Well, dude, you're talking to Dr. Phil McGraw here. He's not exactly a nobody. I'd say.
I'm talking to Rank, and
I'd
he's
say
comparing himself to Steven Seagal would kick Dr. Phil's ass.
Dr. Phil's net worth is definitely probably more than Steven Seagal.
Yeah, but
I had a weekly show where I diagnosed crazy people and then abused them for my own fun and profit.
yeah, but
Exactly.
Steven Seagal would fucking destroy Dr. Phil.
Not mentally.
Oh, fucking physically, yeah.
Yeah, but not mentally.
Physically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I bet I could get him to cry.
You have to cry, yeah. Dr. Phil would just make him cry. He'd mentally screw him over.
Nah, that's bullshit. And like I said, Wrangler, all these great fighters, they would know nothing without Steven Seagal. They didn't watch Steven Seagal movies. Anderson Silva would know nothing about fighting if it wasn't for Anderson Silva. If it wasn't for Steven Seagal.
Anderson Silva doesn't talk like him.
Chuck Liddell would know nothing about fighting if it wasn't for Steven Seagal. Fact.
If it weren't for Steven Seagal, he wouldn't be getting he wouldn't be getting choked out. I get it.
No, that never happened. You can't prove it happened. Show the video.
Do I have to get Mean Gene telling his side of the story?
Well, I'm calling Mean Gene a liar.
Mean Gene Levine, if everyone doesn't know who that is, he was like a stunt man.
And he's a liar. He's a liar like all these Hollywood liberal elites. That's just the facts, man.
I do like Steven Seagal. He makes me laugh. His movies are hilarious.
But no. Actually, if Mean Gene actually tried to choke out Steven Seagal would get right out of it and fucking kill Mean Gene.
No, I think it would happen exactly like last time. Seagal would go for the balls, thinking that'd be his ripcord to freedom. He would get choked out like a rag in the dog.
He would toss him, bro.
Clearly, we just seen him tossing guys around like nothing.
Yeah, he's tossing guys around, Wrangler, one by one. He'd fucking do that to Mean Gene. I
guarantee
guarantee
grabs them by their fingers and like throws them like 20 feet.
Dude, I guarantee you, look, if it was legal for him, I guarantee you he would break their necks.
Probably.
Oh, 100%.
Probably why he's in Russia. It's probably legal in Russia. Putin probably lets him break.
Well, that's his students. Come on now. He's not breaking any students'
Not
necks.
his students, but Putin probably has people in Russia
maybe they should try harder, Wrangler.
Well, he's not going to have any students if he breaks every student's neck. You're being silly now, dog.
No, I'm sure his master broke his neck when he was training.
For sure.
What is this, like Tekken?
Hell yeah, bro.
Welcome to the family barbecue. I'm glad to meet you. You're going in the volcano.
No, you're going off the hill.
No time.
Hill or volcano. But anyway, Wrangler, like I said, this whole thing about you saying Steven Seagal is not the greatest of all time is just bullshit. And Steve Billings said earlier that you could come at me at several fucking points, but you haven't, though, man. The fact is, you haven't. You're just using the same old narrative, same old negative press that Steven Seagal has gotten for years.
I'm saying that he's too fat, too weak, too many sexual allegations, too few students. Like there are so many things that invalidates him for the list of greatest of all time.
And he checks all those lists. Every check mark. No, all of them. Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
We just went through the list. He does not check them off.
Yes, he does. Yeah, the fuck he does, bro.
When was the last time Bruce Lee got in a sexual harassment lawsuit?
When's the last time a celebrity didn't get in a sexual harassment lawsuit?
Well, that makes it worse. That makes Bruce Lee look better.
Bruce Lee didn't. Well, that was all before social media and the Me Too movement.
Yeah, that BS.
Yeah, so really, there's no Twitter around for fucking people to call out Bruce Lee, even if he did do something like that.
Look, I don't think Bruce Lee was just going around randomly essaying people. I don't think this is the case.
I'm pretty sure Steven Seagal would sexually assault fucking Bruce Lee.
Well, of course he would. He's a dirty creep.
Yeah, exactly. Bruce Lee would do nothing about it because he's a bitch.
No, he'd punch him right in the dick.
Bullshit.
As soon as he started pulling it out of his hip pants,
Steven Seagal would choke him out and have his way with him.
Ew.
I was with it. That's like
Nah.
that's how
That's
Bruce
not
Lee
how the
actually
greatest.
died.
That's not how the greatest martial artist in the world would act.
Wrangler, that's
Hell-
how Bruce Lee actually died. Steven Seagal raped him to death.
Good. Yeah. That, we should go with that, people.
What kind of autopsy is that?
And I think it's bullshit. They actually have a fucking statue of a fake fighter in Philadelphia, Rocky. I get it's a fucking movie character, but like, why can't they have statues?
Adrian!
They need statues of Steven Seagal. That's what they need.
I didn't hear no bell yet, dogs.
You know, Bell.
Wrangler, and like I said, you're lying when you say you would fight Steven Seagal. No, you wouldn't.
I
You
would totally fight Steven Seagal right now. You set this up. We get the paperwork going.
If
I
he-
will wipe
if he
the
showed-
floor with him personally.
If he showed up to your doorstep, what would you do?
I'd give him a polite bow and then I'd beat his ass.
Bullshit.
Careful, he might show up in the chat room. He doesn't like people talking about him.
Bullshit, dude. You would lose to Steven Seagal, dude. Steven
I would-
Seagal's the greatest of all time.
He acts like a leopard seal. I would skin him like a leopard seal, wear him like a
No, you
coat.
wouldn't. No, you
I
wouldn't.
could actually make a series
he
of
would rape
5
you.
different dogs. I could actually make a series of 5 different jackets. He's so fat.
Wrangler, he would force himself upon you, dude. He will.
You see the whole idea that suddenly the person is now just ready to rape everyone. This isn't good.
Force his will upon you. Let's see what the chat's saying. What's up, dude? This person says that same Joe Rogan laughs at Seagal and thinks when it comes to fighting, he's a joke.
Joe Rogan's
yeah.
Joe Rogan's
That's
a lot.
right.
Joe Rogan likes to backpedal a lot.
Oh,
dude.
yeah, but I think he's saying because that video of your friend was saying that something about Joe Rogan saying something about one of the UFC, whatever he said that.
Well, it's true. Eagle MMA doesn't lie, man. I mean, sub up to Eagle MMA. The dude doesn't lie.
No, Eagle MMA was using Joe Rogan to prove something.
Yeah,
about fighting skill, but that same Joe Rogan reference that he's using, that same Joe Rogan thinks Steven Seagal's a joke when it comes to fighing.
That's
So it's
bullshit. That's bullshit.
Kind of weird that he would use Joe Rogan as a reference.
Joe Rogan's afraid of Steven Seagal.
Yeah, probably.
Sexually.
This guy says Chuck Norris has entered the chat. Uh-oh. Chuck is in the house. At night, the boogeyman checks under the bed for Chuck Norris.
It's true.
Chuck Norris doesn't flush the toilet. He scares the shit out of it.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
When Chuck Norris slices onions, the onions cry.
I would.
Norris can kill 2 stones with 1 bird. Okay, so that's about that.
Alrighty, but yeah, I think I'd like to end my debate here. I think I won this hands down. Wrangler, you lost this, man. Everybody knows it. The chat knows it. Even Nick knows it.
I'm not going to take sides, but it was definitely fun to watch, and it was definitely some good laughter on both sides. So thanks for coming and doing that, guys. It was good.
Is there anything else you want to say, Wrangler, before we go, or no?
I think that Steven Seagal is a fighting hippopotamus.
But anyway, everybody, sub up to Fat Ass Dogs. I will be re-uploading this debate to my channel, and we do live stream sometimes. So yeah, sub us up.
Sounds good.
Me and Wrangler are yeah, he's my co-host. Yeah, the same guy I'm debating is my co-host.
Durong-da-dong.
Yeah, check out Fast Dogs' channel, guys. And thanks for watching. God bless, guys. We'll see you on the next show.
Yeah, I won.
Woo.